Good morning, everyone. This is Fred Emery from Heartland Campus Solutions, Vice President of Sales. I'd like to thank you for joining us for this webinar, Printing Made Easy with OneCard. We were joined today by Chuck Height from ePrinted. He's Vice President of Sales for ePrinted USA. This webinar is in the listen-only mode, so if you do have any questions, if you look over at the GoToWebinar control panel, you'll see an area labeled questions. Simply type in your questions there, and we'd be happy to answer them throughout the webinar. We will allow time at the end for additional questions and answering then, but we will try to answer them as we go through the presentation as well. So to start out with, we will go over our objectives. We'll start with who is Heartland Campus Solutions, why integrate printing, what's the reasons why you may want to integrate printing to your Campus OneCard system, the financial account that you can utilize, a little bit about our integration process, and then I'll hand it over to Chuck to go over the many options and benefits of the ePrinted solution and a little more about accepting the campus card as part of a combined ePrinted OneCard solution. So Heartland Campus Solutions is part of Heartland Payment Systems. Heartland Payment Systems is the 5th largest payment processor in North America. We process more than 11 million transactions per day, totaling over $90 billion annually. We have over 2,000 campus clients, 160 of which are using our Campus OneCard solution, with offices in Princeton, New Jersey, Colorado Springs, Plano, Texas, Pittsburgh, Jeffersonville, Indiana. I bring up the information regarding Heartland Payment Systems being the 5th largest payment processor because what Heartland does is transaction processing. Our expertise is in taking a card or some form of payment and processing it at retail locations for credit and debit processing. That knowledge, that ability to accept the card and process those transactions securely comes as part of the Campus OneCard system as well. So our knowledge, our expertise is in card transactions, whether financial or privilege-based. And that expertise can come to you as part of the Campus OneCard system. Now, why may you want to integrate printing with the Campus OneCard system? Well, one reason, of course, is go green, reduce more paper waste. I know when I visit campuses and go to their computer labs or libraries, different areas on campus where they have printers, I see a lot of wasted paper. Students will print things, but then they may never pick it up. That gets discarded, hopefully recycled. But when you integrate a print management solution with your OneCard to start charging for those pages, it reduces the amount of paper waste. Students will be more in tune with what they're printed. They won't just print items for no reason because they know they're going to be charged and tracked on those print jobs. So it does reduce paper waste and also helps you to recover costs and increase revenue. Right now, if you're doing free printing, once you integrate print management with OneCard and start charging for those pages, you can recover the cost of the toner, the paper, and whatnot, and possibly even generate a good deal of revenue for your campus. The convenience of integrating with the OneCard will allow your students to utilize the card that they're already using for other payments on campus, possibly meal plan or vending, for their print management, and allow them to utilize and manage one single account. They wouldn't need a separate printing account or print card or print account within their printing solution. Tying it into the OneCard just makes sense. It makes it a lot more convenient for the students and consolidates it. It consolidates their services and allows you to continue adding more functions to the OneCard, one being the print management solution. In regards to the financial account that can be utilized, in the Campus OneCard system, we have available up to 12 different accounts that can be utilized for declining balance, and you're free to set up and use any of those for print management. You can choose a dedicated printing balance, perhaps in this type of balance you'd have dedicated funds for printing, maybe an allotment that is given to the students per semester as part of fees or what have you to deduct from for a certain amount of prints, and then possibly roll over to a general account that can be used anywhere for any additional printing that the student would need to do. That's all available for you as part of the financial module of the Campus OneCard system and can be set up to flow automatically through the use of our bill types. The way we did integration with ePrintit was pretty straightforward. ePrintit is one of our newest partners, and they offer an amazing solution for you. It was quite easy for the integration to occur. Once we started speaking with ePrintit, we just provided them with a non-disclosure agreement and provided them with our standard web service API. They were able to write code into their system to work to our web service API, and when a transaction is utilized on any of their many methods of managing the printing, it touches the OneCard system, deducts the proper amount, and reports back the authorization or the decline to the system. So it's the straight use of our web service. It was very easy to do. Quick development. We certified with ePrintit that it was working and then released it to our clients to utilize. So it's now available as a standard integration, nothing special or unique on every install. It's just part of the implementation process and installation that we have this integration. Now, ePrintit can do a number of different ways of controlling print management, and for this I'm going to hand the controls over to Chuck and ask him to introduce himself and then share his screen. Chuck, I'm handing over controls to you now. So you should be receiving them.
All right, can you see it?
Yes, it's coming in now. Yes, I have it now. Thank you so much, Chuck, and take it away.
Well, thanks again for allowing me to jump on this webinar with you, Fred. As he mentioned, my name is Chuck. I'm the Vice President of Sales for ePrintit USA. And I guess what we're good at is student printing, so I'm going to jump right into it to show you guys what we have to offer. Real quick, a little background about ePrintit. We're a division of St. Joseph's Communications. They're actually out of Canada. They've been around since about 1960. A pretty big company, privately held. They do about $1 billion in revenue a year. With St. Joseph's, we've created some strategic partnerships with Hewlett-Packard and Verizon Wireless, which I'll get into in a second. And basically what we're trying to do is lead the cloud and bring your own device printing revolution while still leveraging traditional campus printing. So typical campus, when I go to a school, this is kind of what it looks like. Usually printing is confined to labs and libraries for students. If that's the case, it's usually limited 24/7. Might not be 24/7 at all. This depends on the hours of the building. There's usually limited mobile printing, and there's no advertising capabilities, which I'll get into here shortly. Now, when we come on board, what we do is we basically can put our machines anywhere on campus, anywhere you want, as long as they're covered. They don't work really good in the rain. It does allow 24/7 printing on or off campus. They can print from any mobile device, and we can actually advertise at every single one of our release points if the school chooses to do so. That's added revenue for you guys if you want to do it. So basically what we do now, instead of students having to go to labs and libraries, they can send a job to our cloud and go to anywhere on campus the next day, 2 days later, 3 days later, whenever, to release the job by simply swiping the Heartland card. And how we do this is it's pretty much no cost to the school if you already charge students for prints. If not, we'll work with you. We have several different business models. But as Fred mentioned, we are about green, so we do help reduce print volume at those schools that currently give away prints. Usually students will go in and just print a book and might take 1 or 2 pages from that book, so you're stuck with a stack of papers in your lab or library. It's not very good for the environment. Our solution is very flexible. Anybody can print from it, even guests. We have programs for them as well. And basically you can print any kind of content from any device to any of our devices. And as Fred mentioned, we have a seamless integration with Heartland. No added fees for that as well. This next slide is just a couple of pictures for you, again, showing any kind of user can send any kind of content from any device. We have 6 different ways for them to print, and we have 3 different release points. I'll get into those. As far as hardware goes, you can mix and match any of these. So we have a kiosk on the left. It's great for 24/7 areas like student unions, residence halls, things like that. It's under lock and key, so you don't have to worry about students getting into it to steal paper or toner or anything like that. It comes equipped with a photo printer as well, so students can log into Facebook or print a photo off of a SD card, 4x6 photo print. So that's available too. Again, added revenue source for your school. Has a 23-inch touchscreen monitor, as all of our equipment does, so we can actually run digital advertising on the screen. Or if you don't want that, we can actually run campus alerts or tie into your campus RSS feeds. So now we're more than just a printer, we're more of a campus utility. The cloud station in the middle is the same as a kiosk, it's just not under lock and key. So this would be your lab and library solution. We'll bring in our own printer. It could be a big HP like you see on the far right, or it can be a smaller printer. You can also tie into your existing equipment. Again, a 23-inch touchscreen monitor. You still get the cloud, 6 ways to print. And by the way, we have no print queue. So if you currently have Ferris or somebody like that where you're just paying for the software, we give you all the software for free, and there's no print queue for you to manage. So we have a vending model in which we give you everything. So I'm going to give you the hardware, the software, the break fix maintenance, the toner, all the consumables. All you do is buy paper. So you can see how it can really cut your budget. You know, if you're spending $75,000 a year on toner alone, well, you get to keep that and use it elsewhere. So that's our 3 different hardware models. Black and white and color prints. If any of you want no, it's not coming up, Fred, sorry. I can actually show you the screenshots. If anybody wants to see the application live, I can actually conduct a separate webinar, Heartland included, and show you guys how easy this is. But it's a simple tile system. Our home screen has 4 different tiles. As you can see, all you do is touch, print your documents, print your photos. You can get a map and directions or search. If your school doesn't want some of these turned on, we can actually disable them, no problem. And we're also working the city maps to become campus maps. So that will be available here shortly. So again, all these are screenshots, but the 6 ways to print. So we have file to print from labs, libraries, laptops, USB. We are also unique because we offer cloud storage printing from Dropbox, Google Docs, SkyDrive. We're working on Box.com as well. Your school site would be your actual school logo. It's for web uploads. It's also where your file to print jobs go. You can email documents, and you can also use our app. So that's 6 different ways to print. Really pretty much without even having to go to the lab and library anymore. So that's more responsibility for the student to get their stuff and not have to worry about librarians or whoever helping them print. So it kind of takes some of that burden off of you guys. Screenshot of the USB. Basically, you just pop it in. You can actually preview every single document before you print it, no matter how you send it. So it's, if you name a document Doc 1, Doc 2, you want to see which one to print. With other systems, you have to print them both or go back to the computer to figure it out. Well, not with us. You can do it right here at the release station. Here's the cloud accounts. The print using Wi-Fi button is gone now. It's going to be box.com here shortly. Same thing there. They just walk up to any release station, simply log into their own personal account, go through the screens, print preview, pick which one they want to do, and swipe their Heartland ID card to pay for the print. Deducts right from their account. The web upload system, same thing. All their jobs pop up when they log in by swiping their ID card. This is also your customized portal. So any reports you need, black and white prints, color prints, photo prints, where were the prints, anything like that, you will have admin capabilities for that. For the email function, they simply just email it basically to the cloud, go to anyone to release it once they get their release code, which is pretty quick. Same process at the end. Here's our mobile app. Our name is ePrint, and you'll see HP ePrint, and there's no coincidence. We actually helped them develop their app. We're the only ones allowed to use their app in a private setting. Um, right now, you can download this app for free to any of your devices and send a job through ePrint It, and you can go pick it up at UPS stores, Walgreens, wherever you want across the nation. We have 40,000 locations worldwide. But for us, when we come on your campus, we actually, if you'll see the one in the middle, is FHDA, that's Foothill De Anza Community College. So a student there just simply sends it to FHDA, and then they can go to any release station they want and print their job they sent from their mobile device. Same thing as far as printing photos, and now you'll see Facebook pops up. They can't log into Facebook until anybody like Fred, happy birthday, nothing like that. They simply can log on and only see photos if they choose this option. This is only on kiosk. Our cloud stations do not have a photo printer, and I'm pretty sure your existing equipment doesn't either, so we probably wouldn't tie into that as well. But if you do have a kiosk, it is a feature. We also have a photo booth on the kiosk, so it has a webcam that can actually take pictures of themselves, as you can see at the bottom. And again, it's a 4x6 high gloss photo. You can't even compare it. It's pretty good quality. I mentioned the document viewer. No matter how you send a print job, the 6 different ways you can actually preview it on the screen. You can choose color, black and white, simplex, duplex. We'll have some other options here coming in the spring where you can actually do more on the screen as opposed to going back to resize your document or whatever. But this basically, if a student wants to print a web page and they hit file print, and it turns out to be a 40-page web page, when they get here, they'll see that, and then they're not going to want to pay for 40 pages if they only need 2. So this really helps them one last time to figure out not to print that whole job. Payment function, we do accept credit card too if your campus wants it. If not, it's fine by us. But also we do, like I said, integrate seamlessly with Heartland. So here, no matter how you send a job and you get to the point where you need to pay for it, this is your screen. You can even add funds here. I believe Fred and I are working on being able to do that direct to the Heartland card without having to go to the card office. But that's another update for everyone. But also here, you just simply hit pay to print, swipe the card, you're done. It's pretty simple. This is just a quick overview. Multilingual, we have English, Spanish, and French right now. There are more available. We're going to have additional web-based apps as well. 6 ways to print. You can preview documents in the Heartland payment integration. Again, no charge for that. Support, some of you might be asking, well, if you're going to give us all this stuff, who's going to take care of it? Well, it's kind of a both scenario. We're going to give you everything and monitor it, and whoever you designate on campus to receive email and text alerts for when it gets slow on paper or toner, that's who gets the alert. If it's a major fix, we come take care of it. But anything small, minor triage like a paper jam or adding toner and paper, we do expect the school to pretty much do what they do now and just keep putting it in there. But we do alert you so you don't have to walk there 5 times a day because that can get hard on larger campuses. We do have a 24/7 call and email center as well. So basically we have a line for the school for support. And then if, let's say it's in a residence hall and the school is closed and the student needs something, they can actually call us direct for after hours. I mentioned Verizon. So we have the printing network. We can turn it into campus utility as well, as I mentioned. But with Verizon Wireless, we can actually turn our kiosk into a Wi-Fi hotspot. Many schools now are building new buildings and they're having to add hundreds of thousands of dollars of wireless access points. Well, if you have some of our kiosks in those new buildings, they can hold up to 250 users at a time through Verizon Wireless on our network. So that's an added feature too. If you don't want it, no problem. We won't put it on your campus. So we're real customizable, even all the way down to the payment as well as the Wi-Fi. And now here's the biggie, it's advertising. Some schools allow it, some don't, but I'll show you our capabilities real quick. So we have, we can do a home screen ad. This is what it would look like. Banner ad would be at the bottom. Digital signage is probably the best. All of our release stations are 23-inch touchscreen monitor, whether we count your existing equipment or not. So they do have the capability of running RSS feeds, campus alerts, or digital signage, whichever you want. If you allow this, it is a revenue generator for you. If you allow us to bring it on campus, you get 25% of the revenue. If you bring the advertiser to us, you get 50%. We do the work, so that's no problem. You'll see the St. John's University kiosk on your left. That wrap costs $300, a one-time fee if you want it. If not, it just comes standard gray kiosk. Or you can actually have an advertiser wrap it and sponsor prints. So that's totally up to you. If you don't want it, it's no big deal. It's just an added revenue source. Columbia College kiosk here in the middle, they chose to brand it. The branded wrap actually gives ownership to the students, makes them less likely to vandalize like they might do any other vending type machine. And then the ones on either side are potential advertisers. So that's it in a nutshell. It's, again, no upfront costs, no printers, consumables, software for you guys to buy. All you do is buy paper, so you can keep your budget for everything else. We're truly a cloud-based solution. There's no print queue to manage students. It's all self-supportive. So it's less wear on your campus computers and printers. There's 6 convenient ways to print for any user, anytime, anywhere. We can generate revenue either through advertising or a markup on prints. And we can also become a campus utility. So you don't have to advertise, but we can do Amber Alerts, RSS feeds, and things of that nature. Anything that's not major custom is absolutely free with us. If it's going to require hours of work, we might charge you a small fee for software development. But other than that, everything is free. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in.
Chuck, we did have one question that came in.
Okay.
And it was directed as to the type of OneCard balances that can be utilized. Heartland has traditional OneCard funds available in the OneCard system, as well as our GSB account, which basically is a bank account behind the OneCard, so the funds are stored there. And the question was related to, is it GSB or will it be OneCard money? And the answer to that is it can be either or both. The transaction will flow through OneCard based on the bill type. So if it needs to go out and process a GSB, give something back network transaction, OneCard will handle that and send it back over to ePrint it. So it can be either or. For those schools that are using GSB, you absolutely can use ePrint it. And those that are using traditional OneCard balances where the funds are stored in the OneCard database in one of the balances, it can utilize that as well. Feel free to type in any other questions that you may have. Chuck, from my view of this and my knowledge, one of the things that I loved about the ePrinted solution when I first saw it is that it seemed to be so flexible because there were so many different ways to print, and I think you definitely portrayed that today. You know, whether you're coming from your laptop or a computer lab, your BYOD, iPad or iPhone or other device, you're able to print and actually work within the campus environment for existing printers, multifunction machines, kiosks. It just gives you a lot of different ways to print your print job and multiple locations too. I think it's great that you can go to, you can send your job up to the cloud and then, oh wait, I forgot to print that, and I'm driving past one of the locations that has your solution in there, and you can go and just pull it right down and print it there. That provides a whole lot of flexibility.
Right, and what's great about our solution too is if you look at the others out there, it's everything has to be pieced together. So, I went to St. John's University, for instance, one of our clients, and they have Pharaoh software, and then they had another company to do lease on the equipment, had another company to provide toner, and then they had to buy their own paper, and then they had to go back to Pharaoh's for another deal for mobile prints, and it didn't even work for all the devices. And when I went to her and she asked me how much and realized I could do everything, and I told her it was free since she already charged the students, she was like, okay, sign me up. So it really is unique. Again, 6 ways to print. We do have a couple of schools that don't want all the ways turned on, so we just disable the buttons. That's no problem, so that's another unique feature to us. And also, people ask, what do you charge for print? Well, it really depends on what the school wants. I mean, we can go down to 3 cents a page if we have to, just depending on the numbers. So we are very flexible as far as that goes too.
Okay, we do have another question that came in. The question was basically, how does ePrint get paid? If we use local OneCard balance, the money isn't going to them. Is there a per-page charge to the school? If so, an example of that per-page charge to the school, what exactly is the financial arrangement?
Yes, great question. For your case, if you have a OneCard, which we love because it's easier, we bill in arrears to the school for what's actually printed. But let's say we charge you 7 cents and you're charging 10 or 15 for black and white, you get the difference on every print. So it really depends on who collects the money, but we bill the school in arrears for what's printed at the charge we negotiate with the school. And any markup goes back to the school. Same for color. If we charge 30 cents and you're charging $1, you're making more than we are per color without buying anything. It's the same thing.
Okay, so it's basically a per-click charge, a per-print charge, and you negotiate the charge that will be billed to the school, and the amount that is set per page then could bring in some additional income for the campus as well, without any upfront costs.
Correct.
Okay, good. Want to make sure I got that correct.
You got it. We also have a lease model. If some schools want to do a lease, we can do that as well. It works like a copier lease, so you're leasing the equipment. There's a much lower click on the back for toner and software and all that good stuff. It's like a penny to 2 cents for black, and then anywhere up to 10 cents for color.
Okay, excellent. And one of the other features that I also think is pretty cool is the ability to do the Wi-Fi access points, because many schools will have their network secured, and for a guest or whatnot, you have to get a login when you go to the campus, and some campuses worry about people on their Wi-Fi network or piggybacking and possibly getting into areas that they shouldn't. So this sort of provides that service at a lower cost to the school and keeps it off of their network, per se, if they're using the Verizon that's built in, and enables the campus to provide Wi-Fi hotspots without having to set up that whole system and put in place.
Right, and my favorite thing about it is this past week we were in Anaheim at the NACAS convention, and it was going to be $1,200 for internet for 6 hours at the convention. So we just turned on our Verizon, and it was free, and we actually gave it to our another vendor we partner with on the side. He was next to us, so they used it too.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those shows definitely charge a bunch for internet access. Are there any more questions that anyone has that they'd like to type in? Okay, we'll give you another moment or two to type them in. You see on the screen here Chuck's email address and phone number. Feel free to call Chuck, but you should also have my information from the emails that were sent out. So feel free to give me a call or send me an email if you have any questions that pop up after the fact, or if you'd like us to come on out and do a direct demo webinar for you, we can do so. Just let us know. Chuck and his team will be at our user group conference that's coming up in just a few days. So those clients that are on this webinar and will be at our user group conference, you'll be able to see the product, touch and feel it, and meet with the ePrinted team there and get some direct information if you'd like. So we'd be happy to come on out and chat with anyone that would like us to give them a more direct demonstration or webinar. Okay, are there any other questions that anyone would like to type in? I don't see any coming in right now. This webinar is being recorded, so we will post it up on our website. Our marketing department is in process of posting the previous ones as well as this one. Once it's done and I get it to them, notification will go out regarding a link to those webinars. So you'll be able to view it after the fact as well if you needed to refresh your memory or pass it on to a colleague or what have you at your campus. So this is being recorded. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any other questions. I do thank you all for attending today's webinar. We greatly appreciate you joining us today, and hopefully you'll join us for some of our other upcoming webinars in the next few weeks. Chuck, I do appreciate you taking the opportunity to speak with us and demonstrate a bit about our relationship and the product set and the integration to OneCard. And thank you all for attending.
Thanks for having me, Fred. We'll see you Sunday.
Yes. Have a great day, everyone.